Hey everyone, it's Liam from Solitude here. Thanks for coming back to my channel. Something a little different today. I've been thinking about this and thinking about trying it. I'm going to do a reaction video. Now, reaction videos are not something that I have done before. It's new for me, and that's part of the reason why you're probably only hearing me in one ear, I think. I can't really work out how to operate this software correctly yet, and for some reason I'm only coming out of the left ear, I think. So hopefully next time around I get that sorted, but hopefully that'll do for this video. So I'm gonna be doing a reaction to reactions, and the reason why I'm gonna do that is because if you followed my channel for a while and you've kept an eye on how it's going, you'd probably notice that I've got one video in particular that goes really well, and it's my video top 30 Australian songs of all time. I think it's on about 160,000 views at the moment, which is the most views I've got on any video by a mile. I haven't got anything even close to that. And it's been great for me. It's been awesome to see that video do well, and to get so many people onto my channel with that video, and yeah, just to get my channel onto people's eyes. So and there's a few reasons why that video is done well. I think I'm going to talk about a few of the different reasons at the end of this video, but one of the main reasons why it's been doing so well is because it's actually had a lot of people making reaction videos to that video, which is something I never thought would happen. I was so surprised when the first time I saw it come out, where a reaction channel made a video about my video. I was like, wow, that's really cool. And then they have just slowly built up more and more, and to the point where there's actually, if you search top 30 Australian songs of all time reaction or something like that on YouTube, you'll probably come across dozens of videos reacting to my video, which I am so surprised about. I never expected this to happen at all, but here we are. And I think it's because there's a huge market for reacting to Australian things on YouTube for some reason. Like there's a lot of American people, or sometimes European or English people, who basically make YouTube channels where all they do is react to Australian things. And of course, Australian music is something that pops up. So, and my video is the go-to video now for some reason. I guess because when you write in Australian songs, it's like the first one that pops up on YouTube, which is really cool for me. So anyway, what I've decided to do is I've picked my favorite reaction, and I'm going to react to his reaction. So this is a guy, it's a channel, a guy by the name of Ryan Was, I think is how you say it. And he's American, and he reacts to Australian things. And his channel is quite popular. He's got about 90,000 subscribers, and his video of his reaction to my top 30 Australian songs video actually has about 580,000 views as of me making this video. So it's got a lot more than my actual video, which is kind of funny. But anyway, I thought it'd be cool to react to his reaction, and then to talk a little about the comments and the response to my video in general at the end of this one. So stick around for that if you're interested. All right, let's get it underway.
I'm very excited for this. I have reacted to some top songs from like the 80s in Australia. I need to do more of those. Those are very interesting always, but this is all time. I'm still just shocked that AC/DC is an Australian band.
Yes, AC/DC is an Australian band. I'm surprised he didn't know that going into the idea of making Australian content. But that's one thing you learn about watching these videos, and especially the reactions to my video, is that a lot of people are learning about songs or bands that they didn't know were Australian when they watch this video. So keep an eye out for that.
But, okay, Solitude. Link down below. Check them out.
Thank you for the shout out.
Let's do it. Let's see if you got... I mean, this is kind of controversial. Top 30 of all time?
It is
It's going to be a controversial list. Not everybody's going to agree.
Yes. I get a lot of comments.
Australia has produced some
not
great
agreeing.
songs in contemporary music over the years, whether that be the biggest chart-topping hits or songs that perfectly embody Australian culture. This list counts down what I believe to be the top 30 Australian songs of all time. I'm only including one song per artist, and it's just contemporary music, so no waltzing Matildas. Feel free to comment your agreements or disagreements below. Let's get into the list. Number 30, Are You Gonna Be My Girl?
This is already blowing my mind. I feel so stupid.
So straight away, he doesn't know that Jet is an Australian band.
An Australian singing that song? It's an iconic song. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even know the band name Jet.
That's kind of funny, but yeah, they were a one-hit wonder outside of Australia, that's for sure. Not in Australia. They had a lot of hits in Australia, but outside of Australia, definitely this was their only hit, and I wouldn't be surprised to hear that people know this song, but not the band.
But I know the song.
One of the biggest indie rock hits of the 2000s. This song was smashed all over Hollywood movies, TV shows, and advertisements.
I feel like it's still played in ads today. It's just the perfect song for an ad for some reason.
On release. Who could forget?
Well, I guess the reason is, I really want to make you mine. Blah, blah, blah. You know, good for an ad.
Get those iPod commercials. Number 29, Prisoner of Society by The Living End.
Just before he gets on to talking about this one and my comments as well, one thing I want to say early on in this video, and I get a lot of people commenting on my video as well, and also on the reaction videos about this, and people are saying, why is he using live versions? Well, there's a couple of reasons. The main reason is copyright, and if I were to use the original versions, there's a high chance I'll get hit with a copyright strike, and I won't even potentially be able to even upload the video to YouTube. Or, at least sometimes they'll say you can upload it to YouTube, but you can't monetize it, or it's not allowed to be shown in some areas of the world, or something like that. So when I was making this video, I wasn't showing my face yet, and I was still reading scripts, and I was going off of using quite elongated videos of the band or the artist playing the song, so I have no choice but to have a 20-second clip of them playing. And if you play more than 8 seconds of a copyrighted clip, they will strike you. YouTube will strike you, and they won't allow you to monetize or upload the video to YouTube. So really, for me, when it comes to me making videos, I'm only a very small channel, and I can't afford to just get copyright struck all the time if I'm uploading content. So I had no choice but to make it live versions, and I still usually stick to live versions because of that reason. I'm small, I can't fight copyright easily, and I don't have the time to be putting songs like the studio versions of songs in, because it will just be such a waste of time for me to constantly be teetering on the edge of copyright if I'm going 8 seconds or less. Sometimes even if you upload 4 seconds, they'll still copyright you depending on the artist of the song. So that's why I always use live versions.
Don't know it.
Not surprised he doesn't know this. It's more of an Aussie song.
I like it though.
The Australian punk rock anthem.
Although they were quite big overseas in the 90s when this song came out. This song also got on Guitar Hero.
From the 90s. This song burst The Living End into the spotlight all around the world upon release. The song was voted
I'm surprised I never heard it.
in at 34 in Triple J's
I'm not
Hottest
surprised he
100
hasn't
of all
heard
time
it, but there
in
would be a lot of
2009.
Americans who
It
know
is
The
a
Living
song
End.
from a better time, I feel like, and I'm sorry to anybody, the younger crowd who's listening, but back before all the production and auto-tune and crap today, and back when bands were actually popular.
Number 28, Riptide by Vance Joy.
It was just kind of a better time.
Slightly more modern here. I get a lot of people telling me they don't like the fact that I'm putting
I never
modern
thought
songs
about
in.
where that dude is from, but I would have thought he was British
He's Australian.
A more recent
or American. Why does the Australian accent just sometimes not come out through the
hit,
music?
Vance
Well, it does sometimes, depending on the artist or the song, but most of the times I think Australian artists want to make their music palatable, and if you sound Australian when you're singing, it may, be a little confusing to American or English markets. So, yeah, I think you can sound Australian if you want to, but most of the time people just sound either American or just kind of standard, kind of maybe slightly English when they sing. And also it depends on your influence. If you're influenced by people who sing in American accents, then maybe you're going to sing in an American accent too. Or if you're influenced by people who sing in English accents, the same. So yeah, it just depends how you want to do it. But most of the time, Australian artists don't really sound super Australian when they sing.
Joy struck commercial gold with this ukulele bop, which caught the hearts of many music fans worldwide, charting
This song was huge.
in multiple
was huge.
countries
It's a
and
massive
reaching
song.
9 times platinum in Australia. Number 27, The Less I Know The Better by Tame Impala.
Again, a more recent song. People do not like the fact I'm putting recent songs in. I'll talk about that
I
a
don't know
bit
it.
more at the end.
But I like it.
I'm
Kevin
surprised
Parker
he doesn't
hit
know this one,
mainstream
actually.
success with this disco rock hit that went viral on TikTok and was voted the number one song
TikTok in 2015. Is TikTok that old?
of the
No,
2010s
well, you see, the song went viral many years after it came out.
by Triple J listeners. Number 26, The Nosebleed Section by Hilltop Hoods.
It's really hard to find a live version of the Nosebleed Section that's not copyrighted for some reason. I don't know why, but the one I've got here, it's hard to hear the song. But yeah, that's one of those ones where it's like, yeah, the copyright, depending on the artist of the song, is insane sometimes.
Undoubtedly the biggest hip hop song to come out of Australia.
It is.
Aussies voted this song in at 17 on Triple J's Hottest 100
It's a
of all
massive
time in
song.
2009.
How do I not know this? Wait.
I wouldn't be surprised if an American has never heard of Hilltop Hoods. But this song definitely needs to be in this top 30. It is the biggest hip hop song out of Australia, undoubtedly. And I made another video recently about if Triple J made a Hottest 100 Australian songs of all time, which there are rumors going around they're going to do that this year. I believe this song would come in number one on that countdown for Triple J. So a lot of people also don't like the fact that I put this song in, but they just don't get it. I think they don't understand how big this song is and how much respect it's got for people below the age of like 35. But yeah, it needs to be in there.
Play it again. That sounded so early 2000s or 90s.
Rock hit
right on
that Triple
2000.
J. Number 26, The Nosebleed Section.
2003 it is.
Undoubtedly the biggest hip hop song to come out of Australia.
Oh man, they look like fun.
Aussies voted
They are
this
fun.
song in at 17
People give them
They're
flack
doing the Ray-Gun
nowadays
hop.
because they've been around
on
for a
Triple
long
J's
time.
Hottest 100 of all time in 2009.
But they are
The
a fun
highest
band.
rated Australian song on that list.
Wow.
Number 25, I Touch Myself by The Diviners.
It's probably one song that I, in hindsight, might have dropped for another one that's often brought up for me missing. But anyway, it's in there.
Dude, Australian bands are huge. Huge. Like all throughout the eras. My God, I had no idea. The Divinals.
I think he knows the song, but not the band.
I mean, that's an iconic song.
Yeah.
That's so funny. It's just so funny to me that all this nostalgic old music is actually Australian that I've heard my whole life. Somehow I don't know that. Do we even make any music over here in America, or is it?
Well, I mean, it's an interesting point, but it's like, why would you need to know they are Australian at the end of the day? Like, they're just making music. So yeah, if it was stuff that you grew up with on the radio, and it gets played and people like it, like at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter where you're from. I'm not criticizing Ryan here. I'm just kind of thinking about like what he's saying, but that's why he doesn't know, because it's like, really, at the end of the day, there's not a huge deal in pointing out where someone's from, when you're hearing their song. If you like the song, you like the song, and it's serving its purpose. But it is cool to discover stuff like this, I guess.
All from Australia. And I just don't know that.
Aussie 80s classic. This song propelled the Divinyls
90s
into
dope.
superstardom with its ultra catchy but cheeky
I think
chorus.
when I made this, I
It
was
still
convinced it
reminds me
came out
mostly of Austin
87
Powers
or
killing
something, but
fembutts with his
came out
mojo though.
1990.
Number 24, The Horses by Daryl Braithwaite.
Yeah, he won't know this. It's more of an Australian song.
I don't know it.
Yeah, definitely more
A guilty
Australian.
pleasure for many.
Kind of sounds like, I don't know, like church music.
It kind of is like a Hillsong song when you kind of think
A
about
guilty
it.
pleasure for many Aussies, young and old. The cover version of this song, Horses, yes, it's actually a cover, went massive in the early 90s and saw a recent resurgence in modern meme culture for its amazing chorus. Number 23, Can't Get You Out of My Head by Kylie Minogue.
Don't get too many complaints about this one being in there.
I just can't believe it. Song after song.
This was
Are
such
these
a big pop
iconic
song.
songs that I had no idea are Australian.
You literally
Yeah.
can't get this song out of your head. This Kylie hit went
many
massive
people would
all
know
over the
that.
world.
You
Gained
guys
song
must
was
have
made by
a
an
huge
Australian woman.
music industry down under.
do,
A lot
we
of
do.
like record producers and stuff, I
We do.
guess.
platinum status in many countries.
Although I don't think this song was written by an Australian, but I'm not 100% on that.
It's often remembered for its catchy
It's a bunch of miners and record producers.
ananas and
Australia.
Kylie's risque outfit in the music video.
A lot of
Number
minors.
22,
Mm-hmm.
Under the Milky Way by The Church.
Don't think you'll know this one, but it is well respected in the underground of Australia.
I've heard it.
Oh, he has heard it.
An Aussie alt-rock classic. The Church launched themselves back into the spotlight when they released this hit. It has enjoyed underground success for many years, especially after its inclusion in the cult classic movie Donnie Darko.
Oh, that's where I've heard it.
Such a good movie.
Nice. I was gonna say this is not a popular song, but
It's definitely not a popular song, but it's
I
a.
love Donnie Darko. I've seen
Yeah.
it 3 times.
Number 21, Into My Arms by Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Beautiful song.
A beautiful piano ballad. Nick Cave put his whole
It's
heart
definitely
into
Nick
this
Cave's
song.
best song in
It's
my
mostly
opinion.
stayed as a more underappreciated song,
I don't know it.
but alternative
Not
music fans
surprised.
adore this song worldwide. Number 20, Tomorrow.
I
It's
don't know
more
if I
of
would
a-
say that sounded alternative.
It certainly isn't. Well, I guess he is a very alternative artist, Nick Cave. I guess that's just like his piano ballad. But yeah, I guess on reflection, maybe that's not an alternative song, but he is one of the most well-known alternative artists ever out of Australia.
Where are these kind of bands today? Can anybody tell me where they are?
In pubs. They're
A
around.
song written by a bunch of 14-year-old kids doesn't normally sound like it would be respected, but Silverchair proved age was no barrier when their debut single went massive all over the world in the 90s grunge boom.
Wow.
Number 9,
Yeah, Silverchair. Doesn't sound like he knows that band or the song, but in the 90s, they were massive.
Somebody That I Used
That's sick.
to Know.
Biggest song like of all time?
Well, not all time, but
Gotcha featuring Kimbra.
arguably the biggest song of the 2010s, in my opinion.
Okay,
In the world.
that is not normally what he looks like. I feel like. What a weird story this song is, you know? The whole the story behind him and the song, and he kind of like didn't like the fame, and
Not
it's
really.
kind of like
no.
the guy who made Flappy Bird.
I don't know if he points it out in this video. He's going to talk a little bit more, but something else crazy about Somebody That I Used to Know that I heard is that Gautier never actually monetized the YouTube music video for that. So it's had like over 1 billion views, and he's not made a single cent off the video. Crazy.
He said, F this, I'm going back underground. I don't like you people.
He's a true artist.
This song was just so big.
Yeah, it was.
I wouldn't have thought a song could get that big.
I still love this song.
And what a random song to do it.
It is random, but I
Good
love
song.
it. It's an amazing song.
I mean, it's been so overplayed that I can't even tell how good it is anymore. I'm like,
I can still tell
yeah,
how good it is.
Good.
Struck gold with this.
Every time this song comes on the radio, I sing along. It's so good.
Art pop song that was the biggest song in the world in the early 2010s. Its incredibly unique but catchy sound won Gautier a Grammy.
The music video was also interesting and part of its hype.
The music video is amazing.
And left a lasting legacy that he has never even given an addition to. Number 18, To Her Door by Paul Kelly.
It's funny, don't get too many complaints about that song being in, but it is a more recent one. But it definitely needs to be in the top 30 Australian songs of all time.
Paul Kelly.
I think he's watched some Paul Kelly videos before, reactions.
I don't like it, but any Paul Kelly song I can hear and be like, okay.
I don't know why he doesn't like it.
Did I say I don't like it? I meant I don't know it.
Oh, he means I don't know.
I do like it.
Australia's greatest storyteller.
My stupid headphones are like, this ear's cutting out, guys. That doesn't work when you're listening to music.
Needs to be in here, and this song,
back.
which is his most dramatic but beautiful story, is arguably his most recognizable. I could have maybe gone with How to Make Gravy or Dumb Things Too.
I was gonna say
How to Make Gravy.
for me,
I get a lot of people saying it should be How to Make Gravy in there, not To Her Door. But yeah, I don't know. I think To Her Door is his best song. How to Make Gravy is good too. I think it's just kind of had more of like a recent resurgence. But I think To Her Door is probably his best song.
Who's gonna make the gravy?
Number 17, Don't Dream It's Over.
He's reacted to that song before, I think.
Crowded House.
Pretty sure he knows this one. This song went big in America, which helps.
No, I'm not saying they're a New Zealand band, okay? Arguably, this is Crowded House's
They're an
biggest
Aussie
hit,
band.
especially overseas.
What an iconic song.
They had some other big hits in Australia too, with Better Be Home Soon and Weather With You.
Formed in Melbourne, the lead singer is a Kiwi, yes, but he was living in Australia when he formed the band. The other two people who started the band with him were Aussies, not Kiwis at all. And then his brother came along later for the album Woodface in the 90s, and then he gapped it. So they're an Australian band in my opinion, okay? I've made a whole video about this, explaining why Crowded House are an Australian band.
Number 16, Reckless by Australian.
He's not going to know this song. It's definitely an Australian song. And it's hard. I mean, the band is called
Can
Australian
anyone work
Crawl.
out what James Rain is saying in the song? No? Oh well. It still sounds
I mean,
great.
what were they thinking when they called themselves Australian Crawl? It's a very limiting name.
Anyway,
Never heard it.
beautiful
Not
ballad
surprised.
from one of the biggest pub rock bands of the 80s in Australia. Number 15, Am I Ever Gonna See Your Face Again by
He's not going to know this either.
Now for arguably the biggest pub rock hit, this
Can't tell. I can't know. I don't know if I've heard this.
No, he
song
wouldn't have
was a
heard this
10 out
song.
of 10 for crowd interaction that is still enjoyed by many Aussies to this day. Wait, so you're saying this only came in at 15? Number
It's
14?
funny, some people pick up on that little joke. I mean, the way I kind of said it, I didn't really deliver it very well. I wasn't very good at reading off words and recording at this point when I made this video. I've gotten a little bit better, but I try to stay away from writing scripts and reading now, because I do feel like when I look back at some of my old videos, I just sound so, I don't know, I just don't really have the voice for it, I don't think. I'm better off just speaking it out, I think.
These Days by
I
Powderfinger.
need to listen to that one, I think.
Another band with a
I
disputable
like the guitar.
biggest song, I have to go with These Days over My Happiness. They were both massive hits for the Finger back in the day, but 21 in the hottest 100 of all time is no mean feat
Could have
for
put
These
My
Days.
Happiness in, but
Number
I don't know it.
I prefer These
13,
Days.
Throw Your Arms Around Me by Hunters and Collectors.
There was a chance he would have heard this song, but I wouldn't have thought so.
I don't know it.
Yeah, it doesn't know.
Grab your guitar, pull out the marshmallows around the campfire, and get ready to sing along to this chorus. Hunters and Collectors made an undying classic with this love ballad in the 80s. Number 12.
Something else that just popped into my mind about some comments that I get, and I might talk about it a little bit more in depth later, is that sometimes people say, like, just let the song play out. Why are you talking over it? And I'm thinking, like, well, that's not this sort of video. Like, I'm making a countdown video. Like, I don't know if you ever watched like Watch Mojo or anything like that. Like, that's how these videos work. You play like a snippet of the song so that people know what you're talking about, and then you provide commentary on the song. That's how list videos work. Like, if you just want to hear the songs play out, go on a Spotify playlist and listen to the songs. So, anyway.
Never Tear Us Apart by In Excess.
I'm pretty sure he knows this one.
One of Australia's greatest exports of all time. It's once again the ballad that I'm going to have to go with as their biggest song. This one went big,
I know that one.
Yeah,
big
he
all
knows
over
it.
the world.
I'm like,
I could have picked a few
I
other
haven't
In
heard it in
Excess
such
songs
a
that
long
he probably
time.
hasn't
Well,
heard.
I know it.
But is slowly getting bought out by the Port
But yeah, this is, in my opinion, their biggest song.
Adelaide Football Club. Number 11, Treaty by Yothu Yindi.
I'm just curious about this warning. I know it said something about Indigenous people on screen. I was just curious what exactly it said. Culture warning: deceased Indigenous person on screen.
Number 11,
Gotcha.
Treaty.
Wonder who that is.
An Indigenous Australian classic. I'm not sure if I'm counting the original or the remix, or maybe just both. It's a beautiful story of Australian Indigenous
gotta be in
culture
there.
and an instant
Don't
classic.
get complaints about this song.
Number 10,
being in there.
Friday on My Mind by The Easy Beats.
Sure, it's not the Beatles.
It's not the Beatles, but
Mine.
yeah.
By-
Oh, definitely
Man, I love the
inspired by the
60s
Beatles.
and just the look, the way they acted. Look at the way he stands there. It's always the guy with the guitar. He stands there like a mannequin.
It's a good point.
Only
actually.
his fingers move. Like,
That's just what they thought
on
looked cool
earth?
back then.
And then the dude is just cheesing. They all act so much more real and natural, I feel like, other than the guy with the guitar standing there like a mannequin. I don't know what that's about, but I don't know. There's just something about they don't act like they're on camera, you know?
Yeah.
It looks like they're actually just having fun back then. They're not like, oh my God, this is going to get so many views on Instagram.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually.
Arguably the first Australian rock and roll stars, this is the Easy Beats' most recognisable song. A super catchy chorus and a very creative guitar riff for its time. No one in Australia would say they have never heard this. Number 9, Beds Are Burning by Midnight Oil.
Okay. I was wondering where it would be.
Okay, he knows this one, but I think it's because he's reacted to it before. I mean, this song was big in America for a bit too.
The Oil's biggest hit
Look at the passion.
all around the world, with a poignant message about Australian Indigenous culture. The time has come to put this song in the list, and it definitely has to be in the top 10. Number 8,
Oh man, what are the top 8 gonna be?
Solid Rock by Goanna.
She's got the moves, that girl.
Interesting. More indigenous people playing the didgeridoo.
Yeah.
It's cool to incorporate the didgeridoo on there.
And you're going to see a bit more now of these next ones. I don't know if he comments on it, but I do get some comments on reaction videos and my video where people say, like, you put songs about Australian culture up higher, or you prioritize them. And yeah, I did. Like, I mean, in my opinion, if I'm making a list about Australian songs, they need to be prioritized. Like, that's just how I see it. So, I mean, you can disagree with that if you want, but that's just what I think. Like, and I think that majority of people think that. I don't know why, but some people disagree for some reason. But if I'm making a list about the most Australian whatever, it's going to be things about Australia. So yeah, this song's going to be up there.
I guess you better do it in a respectful way, though, huh?
Beautiful story that meshes Indigenous Australian culture with contemporary music. This song is mostly only recognised by Australians, but for its cultural impact,
Yeah, I don't know this song.
Yeah,
it deserves to be this high. Number 7, You're the Voice by John.
It's kind of tricky balancing the two, like songs, you know, that are so well respected in Australia and songs that got so popular overseas. I guess that's really the fight for the top spots. It's between those kind of two factors. This one, for example, it's not really about Australia, but, you know, it got big.
Another comeback is brewing. Farnsey came back with a bang when he released You're the Voice, and it went pretty big all over the world. This song is one of the most endeared Australian songs for big crowds and events.
That's one of those I feel like I've heard it one time.
Yeah.
Number 6, Sound.
He may well have heard it in a movie or in an ad or one time.
That's pretty badass, though.
Then by Gang Jam. It's hard to pinpoint what makes this song
This
so
is
great.
a great song.
But I think it's undeniable that this beautiful poetic description of Australian culture by Gang
lyrics are
Jam
amazing.
would be part of the reason. Number 5, Working Class Man by Jimmy Barnes.
It's got to be in there. It's got to be in the top 5.
Lower middle class Aussie battlers will be cheering to see this one up so high. Jimmy Barnes launched his Australian solo career to new heights when his power ballad came out in the 80s and is still a staple in pubs in the suburbs. Number 4, Great Southern Land by
I've heard that song. Oh, Great Southern Land, of course,
Apparently he's
of
heard
course.
that.
Ice House.
I think he knows this one too. Yeah. He might have reacted to it before.
I'm having too much fun just watching this video, to be honest.
I'm glad he likes it. I'm glad he's having fun watching it.
Another song that is able to describe Australian culture in a beautiful poetic way. This song is often used to usher in Australian sports teams passing through the gates of an epic
One of those songs. huh?
intro to an Aussie event. Number 3,
Yeah.
It's a Long Way to the Top by AC/DC.
It just blows my mind that's an Australian band.
Yes, they're an Australian band.
I mean, it's a staple in American rock and roll.
Yeah.
AC/DC. Holy crap.
How amazing is that
It'd be like if you
footage?
told me the Beatles were British.
Australia's greatest exports, with probably
Some
their
old camera
biggest
that
song.
someone has backstage.
Long Way to the Top is a staple for classic rock fans all over the world, and it's instantly recognizable as soon as you hear the opening guitar chug. Number 2,
Great song.
Down
It's funny, Americans don't really know that song as much, I don't think. Maybe they do, but maybe they might think another AC/DC song is a bigger one. But in Australia, it's A Long Way to the Top, which we consider to be their biggest song.
Under by Men at Work.
Of course, he knows it. The most recognizable Australian song for people outside of Australia.
See, now this song, at least by its name, instantly everybody knows it's an Australian song. Even though their
Yes.
accent doesn't really come out in it either.
Well, he's Scottish, actually, which again goes back to what I was saying about Crowded House. So If you believe that the person who's a lead singer, being born in another country, makes that band come from that country, why do people not say the same thing about Men at Work? Just asking. Doesn't that just to make sure you understand? I do think that Men at Work are an Australian band.
Either,
of course,
but it's a classic Australian song. What is number one gonna be? I would have thought maybe this.
Yeah, but
I am, you are.
no, I didn't
but
put
that's
that
not
song
like a
in.
big Australian song.
I didn't want to put in kind of like gimmicky songs, and I find that to be a bit of a gimmicky song. Some people like to complain about me not putting it I Am Australian in, but I might talk about that later when I look at some comments.
This song went massive all over the
Iconic song.
world in the 80s when Australia won the America's Cup. Many people will sing this song when referring to an Aussie person, and it's strongly embedded in Australian culture. Okay. Just before we reveal the number one, I wanted to go over some honourable mentions. Couldn't fit them all in this top
I hate the fact that I spelled honourable wrong. What was I thinking?
30, obviously, and there are some amazing Australian
Just
songs
looking down.
that I wanted to add. Check them out in this list here.
Yeah.
All right.
Number one, K-San by Cold Chisel.
This guy again.
This guy again.
I've never heard number one in my life. What the heck?
Well, it's an Australian song, so this one didn't really break out of Australia, but it is considered to be the best Australian song. Most people would say that. And there's Jimmy Barnes, the artist, and Cold Chisel, the band, are two separate entities, which is why they have an entry each, if you didn't realize.
Way down in Sydney. Okay.
Usually
I
regarded
can't believe I've never heard it.
No,
as the greatest Australian song of all time.
most Americans won't have heard this song.
K-San was voted in at number one by Triple M listeners in their best Australian song countdown.
Well, shit, I need to go listen to the whole song.
It's an incredible
wonder if you did
story
listen to
of
it.
a Vietnam War veteran dealing with his return to civilization. Thanks for checking out this video.
That was awesome. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. For me, number one is "Who's Gonna Make the Gravy."
I don't know why I like that song so much. I mean, it's a good song. I like it too, but
Should be renamed my personal top 30 Australian song. Definitely not 30 songs of all time. Oh.
well, okay. Here's a suggestion. How about whoever made that comment, go and make your own video then?
I mean, yeah. How can you make an objective top 30 of all time?
Well, you can't.
I'm not sure.
You can't. That's why I think people who make these or people who watch these videos don't understand what it takes to make these lists, like, and what you're doing when you make these lists. Like, you can't actually make an objective list, but the challenge is to try and make something that's close to objective. And I'll talk a little bit about my mindset when it came to the entries that I put in after this.
Sure, maybe it would have to be the top selling or top played or something.
Yeah.
No Little River Band on top 30 is criminal.
It's not criminal. They don't have a song that should be in the top 30. Sorry, but they don't.
Yeah. I should make my list. It's just how to make gravy.
That would be cool if you made
30
a list,
times.
actually.
Thank you for watching, guys. That was really entertaining. Go check out Solitude channel, link down below.
Thanks, man. Thanks for the shout
What
out.
do you guys think?
He's actually really helped bring a lot of people to my channel, so I do owe a lot to Ryan. Thanks.
I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Cool. Whoop.
Daniel Gorringe made
Sorry, I don't want to watch that video about Daniel Gorringe. Let's go back.
Punk rock anthem from the 90s.
Let's have a look at some of his comments. It's a long way to the shop if you want a sausage roll. Yes, it is. Angels. No Skyhawks. Mental as anything. Little River Band. Captain Matchbox. Daddy Cool. I could go on. Yeah. I've got to admit, I don't know who Captain Matchbox is, but all the others, yeah, I get why you feel like they should be in there. could be an argument, especially for Daddy Cool. I might talk about them later. I agree with the comment. This compilation was skewed towards Australian theme songs as opposed to just Australian songs. Yes, it is, and a lot of people like that comment. I mean, like, why should it not be? I don't understand like why people have an issue with that. Like, if you're making a video about best Australian food, like, or best Australian people, like, I don't know, they're going to be Australian themed. Like, you're thinking about the top 10 most famous Australian people ever. Who's number one going to be? Like, there's a high chance number one would be like Steve Irwin, and he's like, you know, stereotypically Australian. So I don't know. I don't get why people have an issue with that. Yeah, the crowd interaction thing. Someone's explaining that. Yeah. The comments on this one are actually surprisingly positive. On my video, I get like 1 or 2 negative comments a week on my video. So many people do not like the fact that I made this video and that they disagree with some of the entries. The compilation should have contained the recorded versions of the songs. Some of those live versions weren't recognizable or didn't sound good because of the acoustics. The acoustics, eh? Well, it's because of copyright. Yeah, horrible version of Horses. Mostly Guy Sebastian. Yes, you couldn't even recognize the nosebleed section. Well, that's what I said. It's hard to find a non-copyrighted version. I agree. Wonder if it's a copyright issue. Yes, it is. What about Sia Chandelier? Yeah, she's a big hit from more recently, but no, I don't think she deserves to be top 30. The Bee Gees, I've made a video talking about that. I don't really consider them to be Australian, but yeah, I get a lot of people saying, what about Bee Gees? Olivia Newton-John, maybe could have. Savage Garden, good songs, but I don't think any of them cracked the 30. I wish it was the studio versions. Well, yeah, I can't put them up, otherwise I'll get copyright hit. Let's go on to the actual video and have a look at some comments. Have you got a link to? Here we go. Here you go. This is my Australia video, has. Okay? So I wanted to make a video kind of talking about this because I get so many negative comments from people watching and not agreeing with what I put in. The band played Waltzing Matilda, such a famous song, covered by nearly everyone, regarded widely as one of the greatest songs about wartime veterans all over the world. Hold it in their hearts. Yeah, but it's contemporary. These are contemporary songs in my list. So I'm not putting Waltzing Matilda in. I actually think I said I'm not putting songs like Waltzing Matilda in. No Little River Band in the top 30 is criminal. I don't believe it is, actually. I don't think they have a song that deserves to be in the top 30. I mean, yeah, top 30 bands. They're in my top 30 bands, but they don't really have one major standout hit. So I don't think they should be in the top 30. Yeah, I'm not putting Waltzing Matilda in. No. Yeah, should be renamed my personal top 30 Australian songs of the last 30 years. Definitely not top 30 Australian songs of all time. Okay, what the heck? Well, last 30 years, that would mean from 1995 or something. So there's a lot of songs pre-95 in there. See, people just get so triggered when they see a song that's from like the last 20 years. They can't take it. So yeah. I just don't care for comments like that. While I understand that music is subjective, but here are a few bands I think should be considered. Thank you for prefacing that. Skyhooks, Living in the 70s, considered. Sherbet Howzat, considered. Billy Thorpe, most people I know, considered. Axiom, Little Ray of Sunshine, not. I don't think that makes a 30. Master's Apprentice, Because I Love You, considered. I also put out a top 20 songs from the 1970s that are Australian recently, and I put all those songs in there, I think. Except for Axiom. I don't think I put that in. My main criticism would be lack of so many acts from the 60s and 70s. Okay, fair enough. I probably didn't put in enough, but I just feel like there's a lot that haven't aged as well as people think that they have. Like, okay, surely the Seekers would have been on this list. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I feel like, I mean, where do we hear the Seekers getting played nowadays? I don't know. I'm not counting the Bee Gees. Olivia Newton-John, maybe. I could have put Physical in. Helen Reddy, One Hit Wonder. Nah. Air Supply, maybe. Nah. Little River Band, no. Russell Morris, maybe. Real Thing, Big Song Mixtures, no. Yeah, I just think, like, what would you take out? I guess people don't like the fact that, like, The Less I Know The Better and Riptide and songs like that are in there. But, I mean, I think, you know, even though they are recent, they are massive songs. People just don't like that. What else? Okay, here's one. I get a lot of people saying, love the list. I thought Eagle Rock would make it for sure. I do think it's super interesting to see how in 30 years, yeah, if some of those more new artists, how they'll go. Yeah, Eagle Rock, I get a lot of comments saying where I should have put that in, but I didn't. And it was literally like my last cut song. I didn't think that the song, I didn't think it aged as well as apparently what people think. I thought it was kind of a gimmick, but apparently there's still a lot of love for that song out there. So anyway, thanks for checking out this video. I just wanted to try a reaction and see how it goes. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you later.